Hello everybody, I'm Stephanie. I am so glad to be with you again this evening for our second live broadcast. Tonight we're going to be doing a flow to overcome fear. Whether that is emotional fear of things that you're dealing with getting stuck inside your head, or sometimes when our emotions are high, we tend to hold it in different places in our bodies. So your shoulders might be tight, or your hips might be tight, or your low back. So we're just going to be taking some movement and some work to work through it. We're not wanting to ignore it, we're wanting to move through it, but we're looking into the body, really questioning things. So join me on your mat wherever you're at, and let's get started. So I really want to make this a live, real class where we have some interaction with each other. So if you make any comments whatsoever, my producer husband's going to yell them out to me during class, and I will try to answer anything. So already, thank you so much, Leah and Beth, for your comments. But we're going to begin tonight on our backs in Shavasana. So just very gently coming down onto your back, legs extended, arms extended, closing the eyes, coming into the body. As we're starting this flow of yoga to overcome fear, we're not ignoring anything that's going on in our world or in our bodies. We're wanting to work through it, but we're also wanting to question things. And that begins in our physical bodies. If you're feeling stuck in your head, or there's a certain body part that you just feel like it's just talking, and you're stuck with that. We want to work through any fear that you might be holding in the body. So on your inhale, filling up every crevice, belly expands. And exhale, melting down into your mat. On your inhale, filling up between the vertebrae, into the muscles, the tendons, the joints, and exhale, melting back in. One more in through the nose, and out through the nose. Just taking notice of anything that you're feeling. You can feel your insides just really tight, or maybe everything's just kind of jittery or shaky. Or if there is a particular body part that you just need to bring some extra awareness to today. Very gently bringing your eyes open and inhaling your arms up overhead. Find a big stretch, reaching in opposite directions. And then for our first posture today, we're going to take banana. And in Sanskrit, it really is called banana asana. So walking your arms and torso over to the right, and then also walking your feet over to the right. So it's a big side bend over to the right, but stretching out the left side body. So sometimes a good place to start when we're working through fear is just to find a little bit of laughter. So we're beginning with banana today. On your next inhale, torso and legs come back to center. And exhale, torso and arms reach to the left, and the feet walk over to the left. So big side stretch through the right side body. Inhale back to center. And exhale, hands down by your side, bending your knees, rolling onto one side or the other. Pressing yourself up through a seated position to a seated position, not through a seated position. Beginning to find some movement in the spine. On your exhale, reaching your spine back behind you. Arms are going to reach out in front of you. So we're finding a seated cat-cow today. So seated cat. Inhale, heart reaches forward, arms reach back behind you, chin reaches up towards the ceiling. Seated cow. So moving between those two shapes. Seated cat, exhale. Seated cow, inhale. Just finding that movement through the spine, matching it with the breath. Last one. And then coming back to your neutral spine. Inhale, both arms reach up overhead. And on your exhale, right palm's gonna plant, left arm reaches up and over. So big side bend again, but this time pressing down gently through the left knee, left hip, and even a tiny lift with the right palm. Inhale back through center. Exhale, left palm plants, right arm up and over. Tiny press through your right knee, right hip. One more time, both sides. Inhale through center. Exhale, plant and reach. Inhale, center. Exhale, plant and reach. Inhale, back through center. This time finding a little twist. Right hand's gonna come behind. Left hand's gonna cross opposite knee or thigh. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Instead of pressing into the twist, with your exhale, just releasing. Doesn't have to be a very big twist. We're just warming up the spine. Inhale back through center. Exhale, other side. Left palm comes behind. Right hand crosses opposite knee or thigh. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to release. One more time, both sides again. Inhale through center. Exhale and twist. Inhale through center. Exhale and twist. Inhale, arms reach back up overhead. And exhale, palms are gonna come down in front of you. You're making your way to tabletop. Wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Pressing down into the mat, feeling the activation of the arms all the way up to the shoulders, to the scapula, spreading them side to side. Core pulls in. Tuck your toes on your exhale very slowly, very gently. Finding your first down dog. Pedaling the heels, wagging the hips, rocking back and forth on the wrist, taking any movement that feels good. You can even take a deep bend in the knees. And then beginning to settle in, reaching the heels down towards the mat and really pressing all 5 fingers, all 4 corners down to the mat, drawing the energy up. Belly button pulls into spine. Deep bend in your knees, look up between your hands, take your time, walk your feet to the top of your mat. Lift your right foot and you're gonna slip your right palm underneath the right foot. So you might have to take a deep bend in the knee and that's okay. All the way until the toes can come into the wrist crease. Lift your left foot, left hand's gonna slide underneath, toes to wrist. And then taking that gaze back behind you, belly button stays pulled into spine. We're coming into gorilla pose. We had to have a gorilla after our banana here. Bad joke, I know. And then on your exhale, reaching your crown down even further and reaching your hips up. You can keep a deep bend in your knees, as deep as feels comfortable. One more breath here. Maybe lifting the toes a little bit at a time, giving your wrists or palms a little massage here. And then very gently lift your left foot, left hand comes out. Lift your right foot, right palm comes out. Inhale, halfway lift. Gaze in line with your spine. Exhale, reach back down. Belly button pulls in, inhale, reverse, come all the way up. And exhale, hands down through heart center. So even before we really get to flowing and moving today, we're gonna begin with a power pose. Thank you, Abby. So glad you could join us tonight. You're gonna step your feet apart, ankles underneath your hips, and bring your arms out to your side. And you're gonna puff up as big as you can get. How much room can you take up? Lifting straight up through the heart. So really just coming into this power stance. Maybe just the hands stayed out the side if you really want to. Maybe you are Wonder Woman or Superman or whatever you want to be. Hands can come to your hips, or you can just Keep that big puffy feeling, but just puff up, take room. One more breath here. It's okay if that brings a little smile to your face. We're gonna find a little bit of laughter tonight. And then exhale, reach back down, standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift again. Exhale, reach back down, deep bend in your knees, deep enough you can plant your hands, step your feet back, top of your plank, shoulders coming over your wrists. Exhale, knees come down to the mat. So we're moving through the scaffolding of the sun salutation, just looking for tonight what feels best in your body. With your exhale, lower yourself down in one solid piece. Inhale, drag forward, lengthen through the low back. Spend a moment here if you're really holding some fear or tightness in the low back, lengthening the low back. Exhale, melt back down. We're going to take 2 more of those. Inhale, drag forward, lift up, little baby cobra. Exhale, melt back down. Inhale, drag forward, lift up, little cobra. Core is pulling in, so it's not just the palms doing all the work. Exhale, melt back down. Inhale, press up, tabletop. Curl your toes, hips up and back, down dog. Again, taking movements, taking any modifications if you need to soften the knees, but pressing down to the mat, lift that energy all the way up. One more breath here. Deep bend in your knees, look between your hands, walk your feet again to the top of your mat. Exhale, reach down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down. Belly button to spine, inhale, reverse, come all the way up. And exhale, hands down through heart center. Keep moving with the breath. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, swan dive or hands through heart center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down, deep bend in your knees, plant your hands, step your feet back, top of your plank, shoulders coming over your wrists again. We're gonna hold here for a moment. If you'd like to, you can bring the knees down, but really paying attention to what's going on in the shoulders. Have those shoulders come back up by the ears. Can you press down, pull all the energy up? One more breath. Then exhale, knees come down to the mat. Second option, you can lower down halfway, chaturanga. You can do 3 push-ups or release all the way down to your belly, your choice. Inhale, drag forward, lift up. Back to your baby cobra, maybe middle cobra, high cobra. Exhale, melt back down. Inhale, press up, tabletop. Curl your toes, hips up and back. Down dog. Deep bend in your knees, look between your hands. This time, step, hop, or float your feet to the top of your mat. Exhale, reach down through your crown. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down. Belly button to spine. Inhale, reverse, come all the way up. And exhale, hands down through heart center. One more, power pose. Open it up, puff it up. Find your stance. Anything that can bring a smile to your face, but lifting through the heart. Open it up so everything's not closed off. You can't be powerful if we're all closed off. Thank you to Iron Man for joining. One more breath here. And then exhale, melt all the way back down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down, deep bend in your knees, plant your hands, step your feet back, top of your plank. You can go back to your knees, taking one of those first 2 options, or third option, staying on your toes. You can lower all the way to the belly or pause halfway down, chaturanga. Find your back bend, low, middle, high cobra, or flip to the tops of your feet, up dog. Exhale, melt all the way back down. Inhale, press up, tabletop. Curl your toes, hips up and back, down dog. 2 breaths here. Pulling the core in. Keep pressing down into the mat. All 4 corners are there. See if you can check. If you can lift the palms, connect back down all 4 corners. Then on your next inhale, shift forward, top of your plank again. Knees or toes. We're going to take a slow lower all the way down to the belly for 3, 2, 1. All the way down. Fingers are going to come out to your side. They're still in line with your shoulders. Elbows are going to reach straight up towards the ceiling. Inhale, drag forward, lift up, little baby cobra. But this time we're gonna let it dance a little bit, intoxicated cobra. So we're reaching the crown of the head from one side to the other, feeling this movement through the QL muscles of the low back. So you're stretching one side and then the other, letting the cobra dance. Bring a smile to your face. Yes, it is ridiculously cheesy. One more set, both sides. And then come back to center and exhale, come all the way back down. Hands come back underneath your shoulders. Shoulders and elbows reach back. Inhale, press up, tabletop. Curl your toes, hips up and back, down dog. Lift your right leg, three-legged dog. Again, rolling the right hip down if need be. On your next inhale, shift your weight forward, shoulders over your wrist. Right knee's gonna come between the hands, but it's hovering. You can take the left knee down if you'd like to. Really using the core to pull the knee up. On your exhale, melt down just a little bit. Inhale, reach the spine up, knee to nose. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, reach the spine up. Come back down. One more. It's okay if you're really feeling a burn through the scapula, through the arms. And then press back. Right leg lifts again, three-legged dog. Bend your right knee, come up on your left toes, step or walk your right foot through between your hands. And exhale, left knee's gonna come down to the mat. Left palm's gonna plant. Floor, or if you have a block or a book, you can use that also. Finding a little bit of engagement through the inner thighs so the knees aren't going walk out to the side. You're keeping that engagement, squeezing the inner thighs together. We're gonna find a little twist here. Inhale, right arm lifts, little twist. Exhale, float it back down. Where's that twist happening? Is it just the shoulder? Can you find it from the very base of the spine? Inhale, little twist. Exhale, float it back down. One more. Inhale, twist. Exhale, float back down. Both palms plant. Press back through the left heel. Knee's gonna come off the mat, and then you're gonna shorten your stance. You're gonna walk the back left foot in until the heel can come down. The left toes are turned out towards the upper left-hand corner. Pull your core in, squeeze your inner thighs together. Inhale, come up, warrior one. So when we're coming into warrior one, it's a little bit different than high lunge. Our high lunge, the heel is gonna be in line with the toes. Warrior one, we're letting the heel come down. But what that happens with that is that it's a deeper stretch through the back side of the left leg. And sometimes also if the left hip is tight on this side, the left hip's gonna pull back. And so you can notice then the hips aren't in line. So tugging the left hip forward till both hips are in line. Pull your core in, tailbone's reaching down. So you're not sticking the tailbone back in your warrior one. Arms are gonna reach up overhead. We're holding here for 2 more breaths. Really feeling powerful. Belly button's pulling into spine. All 4 corners of both feet are connected down. And then exhale, hands are gonna come down by your side, and you're gonna roll your shoulders back and reach your hands back behind you. You can stop there. Maybe you clasp the hands back behind your hips. We're setting up for a humble warrior. Hopefully I won't hit this corner of the wall. If I do and you hear a really loud wah-pah, that's what it is. Sorry, too much talking. On your exhale, we're melting over the leg. Keep tugging left hip forward, left hip forward, left hip forward. Then inhale, fist is gonna reach up, or it might reach out in front of you. But keep squeezing the inner thighs together. Left hip's reaching forward. You're coming into humble warrior. Even in our strength, sometimes we want to come humbly. Just listening to how the body is feeling, listening to what's going around in our thoughts, in our world. One more breath. Inhale, come back up. Fist comes back to the hips. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, swan dive over the right leg. If you take plank from your knees, the left knee is going to come down, but you're going to roll the left heel back so that the heel and the hip are in line with each other. Control your right knee or right toe back to your plank. You've got your 3 choices. Lower down. You can pause, chaturanga. You can do it from knees or toes. You can skip it. Go back to child's pose, to down dog, whatever you'd like, but finding your flow or no flow, your choice. We're meeting back together in down dog. On your next inhale, shifting forward again, top of your plank, knees or toes, slow lower again for 3, 2, 1. We're back to that intoxicated cobra. So beginning, fingers coming out to the side, elbows towards the ceiling. Inhale, drag the spine forward, lift up, and let that cobra dance from side to side. Maybe taking it a little bit further this time. Sending the breath into the low back of the QLs. Last one. And coming back to center. Exhale, melt back down. Hands come back underneath your shoulders. Shoulders, elbows roll back. Inhale, press up, tabletop. Curl your toes, hips up and back, down dog. This time, left leg lifts, 3-legged dog. Inhale, shift forward, shoulders over your wrist. Left knee comes between your hands. We're taking that knee to nose movement, but the left knee is going to stay lifted the entire time. It's not going to touch down. Right knee can come down if it needs to. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, knee to nose. Spine reaches up towards the ceiling. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. One more. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And press back, 3-legged dog. Left hip is down. Bend the left knee. Come up on the right toe. Step or walk the left foot through between the hands. Exhale, right knee is going to come down to the mat. Right palm's going to plant, mat or block. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Little twist. Inhale, left arm lifts. Exhale, float it back down. Inhale, twist. Exhale, release back down. Inhale, twist. Exhale, float it back down. Press back through the right heel and shorten your stance. We're setting up warrior one, other side. So stepping the right foot in until the right heel comes down. Right toes are turned out a little bit. Squeeze the inner thighs, core is engaged. Inhale, come up. Warrior one, other side. Tugging right hip forward. Core is in. One more breath here. Feeling really strong in your warrior one. And exhale, hands reach down by your sides. Roll the shoulders back. Find your clasp if you'd like to. Exhale, bow from the waist. Keep tugging right hip forward, right hip forward, right hip forward. If it feels okay, fist reaches up or in front of you. Keep squeezing the inner thighs together. Grip the mat with all of your toes. Inhale, come back up. And arms reach back up overhead. Exhale, swan dive over your left leg. Step your right foot back. Control your left knee or left toe back to your plank, to your plank. Lower down, 3 push-ups. Find your flow or skip it. We're meeting together in down dog. Inhale, shift forward, top of your plank. Slow lower, 3, 2, 1, down to the belly. Forearms are going to reach out in front of you, so we're setting up Sphinx pose. Elbows right underneath the shoulders. Spread your fingers wide, pressing down into the forearm. Get those shoulders down away from your ears. Grip the floor mat and drag yourself forward. So we're finding length in the low back again. But we're going to add a lion's breath. If you've never done this before, this is the greatest time to try it because you're all by yourself. If you're not, scare your significant other, scare your creatures, doesn't matter, whatever it is. You're going to stick out your tongue, and on your exhale, you're making a big sound. So inhale to prepare, exhale. It's like you're hissing at things. 2 more times. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, let it out. Scare all those things away. 1 more. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lion's breath. That didn't bring a smile to your face? I don't know what will. Exhale, melt back down. Hands come back underneath your shoulders. Inhale, press up, tabletop. Curl your toes, hips up and back, down dog. Right leg lifts again, three-legged dog. Bend your right knee, come up on your left toes, step or walk your right foot through between your hands. Left heel's gonna come down, left toes are gonna turn out. On your inhale, come up, warrior two. Right knee is stacked over your ankle, grip the mat with both feet, pull it together, wake up those inner thighs. Core is still in, so the tailbone's not sticking out. Can you actively reach through both arms? We're gonna take a power stance here. You're gonna bend your left elbow and the right arm's gonna reach up. Usain Bolt arms. Every time I come into this stance, I just wanna go, yeah, or hoo-ah, or whatever. You can make whatever sound you'd like, or no sound at all, that's okay. But notice as you're leaning back, has the right knee come in? Can you press it back towards your right pinky toe? Can you lift out of your left side so it's not crunching down and dumping all the energy back there? One more breath here. Then open back up, warrior two. Beautiful. You guys got it, you're amazing. Tug forward, right elbow comes to your knee, left arm lifts, side angle. Exhale, overhead at an angle, extended, stretch, 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 stretch. Whole left side body. Keep the right knee where it is. Inhale, come up, reverse your warrior. One more time, different option this time. You can bring the elbow back down to the knee, or maybe both arms are reaching. Takes a little bit more right side core strength. So if that's not where you're at, right elbow can come back down. Inhale, come up. Reach back with your right. Different option this time for a half bind. Left hand's gonna reach back behind towards your right hip. Keep pressing right knee towards right pinky toe. You've got it. Then back to your warrior two. Right toes are gonna turn in. Reach up and exhale. Forward fold from the waist, wide-legged forward fold. If you need to, you can widen your stance. Hands can come to shins, ankles, toes, blocks. You can come to the palms, you can come to the forearms. Keep the core pulled in. Don't let it sag down. We're gonna take a little bit of movement here, so come back up to the palms if you've taken a different option. Turn your right toes out and bend your right knee. You're gonna walk or sweep your hands to the right. So we're taking some movement, lunging side to side. Right toes in, left toes out. Walk or sweep. Keep the connection down of all the corners. Don't roll into the foot. Get that big inner thigh stretch. Left toes in, right toes out. Right toes in, left toes out. We're gonna take that one more time. If you would like, you can always say no. Be strong with your no. If you're done, you're done. You've got it. Then come back down, wide-legged forward fold. Core pulls in, hands come to your hips. Soften the knees, inhale, come up, reverse. Right toes turn back out, warrior two. Windmill the hands down. Frame your right foot, spin on your left toes. We're taking a little stretch here. Press back through the left heel with your exhale. Softening left hip flexor. Then left heel's gonna come back down. Inhale, come up, warrior two. One more time. Can you find that power stance for me again? Usain Bolt arms. Bend the left arm, right arm reaches up. Hoo-ah! Then exhale, hands are gonna come down by your side. You're gonna straighten your right knee, turn your right toes in, so you're facing over to your left side, and then toe heel your feet in a little bit. Toes are gonna point out on the diagonal, but your stance is wider, your ankles are wider than your hips, so they're not underneath. We're setting up for a little hip opener here, coming into Malasana, garland squat. Hands are gonna come to heart center. On your exhale, sit straight down. Stop where you need to. Maybe you stop here. You're like, that's it, that's okay. Maybe you grab a block or a pillow. Put it underneath the sits bones. Give yourself a little seat. But making sure the connection's staying down, all four corners. Keep pressing the knees, open, open, open. Maybe you take a little movement, rocking side to side. Settling in here. Keep pressing the knees open if you keep feeling them roll in. Hips are reaching down. One more. Hands are going to come out in front of you. On your inhale, reach your hips up, toe heel your feet back in. Ankles underneath your hips. Exhale, reach down through your crown. Ragdoll. Arms are just kind of dead weight here. Roll up, one vertebrae at a time. Last thing up is the head. Beautiful, good work. Other side. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to swan dive or hands through heart center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down. Deep bend in your knees. Plant your hands. Step your feet back, top of your plank. Knees or toes, flow or no flow. You can skip it. Go straight to down dog. Go to child's pose. Or keep moving. It's up to you. On your next inhale, we're meeting begin at first to down dog. You're going to shift back forward, top of your plank, knees or toes. Slow lower all the way to your belly. We're coming back to that Sphinx, second round of lion's breath. Here we go. Laugh at yourself. Make a big fool of yourself. That's okay. That's how we learn. That's how we check in. That's how we bring a little laughter to our lives. So elbows underneath your shoulders, press into the forearms, shoulders back, core is in. Drag yourself forward, lengthen the low back. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, let it go. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Lion's breath. Hiss all that fear away. We're working through it. Inhale. Exhale. Let it go. Beautiful, guys. Exhale. Come back down. Hands come underneath your shoulders. Inhale. Press up. Curl your toes. Hips up and back. Down dog. Lift your left leg. Three-legged dog. Bend your left knee, come up on your right toes, step or walk your left foot through between your hands. Right heel comes down, right toes turn out. We're coming up warrior two, other side. So I'm going to spin this around. Inhale, come up, warrior two. Left knee over your left ankle. Core is pulling in, hips are down. Gazing over your left fingers, find that extension through the front, through the back. And we're taking those Usain Bolt arms. Right arm's gonna bend, left arm's gonna reach up. Even if it's silently inside your head. Hoo-ah! Whatever makes you feel strong here. One more. Then open back up, warrior two. Tug forward, left elbow comes to your knee, right arm lifts, side angle. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, come up, reverse your warrior. You've got that option the second time through. Exhale, elbow to knee, or both arms float. Really feeling the length and the strength of the left side. Inhale, come up, reverse with a half bind option. Rolling the right shoulder back, lifting out of the right side. And open back up, warrior two. Usain Bolt arms one more time. Bend the right elbow, lift it up. Yeah. Back to warrior two. Left toes turn in, reach up. And exhale, melt all the way back down. Core stays pulled in. Second round, wide-legged forward fold. This time, tiny shift in your weight forward towards your toes. You're keeping the ankle through the toes grounded down, so you're not lifting the heels, but you're transferring the weight a little bit further forward to get a deeper stretch to the back side of the legs. Inhale, come back up to the palms. We're taking that motion side to side again. Left toes out, bend your left knee, walk or float your hands. So you can walk them. If that feels better, you can keep it a very tiny stretch side to side. It doesn't have to be big. It's completely up to you and how you're feeling today. If you fall out, it's okay. You're close to the floor. One more each side. Then coming back, wide-legged forward fold. Soften the knees, hands to your hips, core pulls in. Inhale, come up, reverse. And open back up, warrior two. Exhale, windmill the hands down, spin on the right toes. Press back through the right heel. Little stretch through the right hip flexor. Right heel comes down, right toes turn back out. Inhale, come up, warrior two. Left toes turn in, hands come down, and we're coming back to that garland. So toe heel your feet back in a little bit more. Ankles, feet are a little bit wider than your hips. Hands come to heart center. Exhale, sit straight down. If you need to, maybe you take some movement. If you're at that kind of weird place where you can't quite get all the way down, maybe one hip's going down at a time. Take some froggy movement, side to side. And then when you're ready, reaching the hips down. Beautiful, one more breath here. Palms come back out in front of you. Inhale, hips lift. Toe heel the feet back in. Core pulls in. Ragdoll, roll it up. One vertebrae at a time. Last thing up is the head. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, swan diver, hands through heart center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down. Deep bend in your knees, plant your hands, step your feet back. Top of your plank, flow or no flow. Here we go. We're meeting together in down dog. Inhale, shift forward, top of your plank. And exhale, come all the way down to your belly. Arms are gonna reach out in front of you. Feet are gonna reach back behind you. Inhale, lift the core, lift the chest, lift the arms, maybe the feet lift. Superman. Feel real strong here. Fly it through the hair, through the hair too. But on your exhale, arms are gonna reach back behind you. Zoom through the air. Inhale, come back out front. And exhale, melt it down, right ear to the mat. Oh, even Superman needed to rest. I'm really making the cheesy jokes tonight. Neck comes back to neutral. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fly it back. Inhale, arms reach back overhead. And exhale, melt it down, left ear to mat. Neck comes back to neutral. Hands come back underneath your shoulders. Shoulders roll back, elbows point back. Inhale, press up, tabletop. Curl your toes, hips up and back. Down dog. Lift your right leg again, three-legged dog. You're gonna bend your right knee and you're gonna thread your right foot underneath the left knee. So it's almost like you're crossing the thighs and you're coming to the outside of the right foot. If this is a little bit too much, we're setting up for fallen triangle. You're welcome to come down to the left knee and reach the foot back if that feels a little bit too uncomfortable. Maybe you come down to the right knee. Just whatever feels good for your body. And then shifting the weight to the right palm, left arm's gonna lift. So it's a version, kind of a side plank. Exhale, left palm comes back down. Bend the right knee, right foot reaches up, three-legged dog. And exhale, come back, down dog. Deep bend in your knees, look between your hands. Step hop or float your feet to the top of your mat. Exhale, reach down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down. Belly button to spine. Inhale, reverse, come up. And exhale, hands down through heart center. We've gone through warrior one, warrior two. We got to hit all the warriors, finding our braveness today, working through fear. So you're going to transfer the weight to the right foot. Left foot's going to step back behind you. You're going to touch the toes down. But notice how both hips are still in line. So you're not letting the left hip roll open. Arms are going to reach up overhead. And you're going to find your traction, your length. Reaching up through the crown and back through the left toes. Maybe the left toes begin to float. I'm gonna step back here so I don't slam into my wall here. This can be your warrior three, so you can just stay there. Maybe you're testing the waters, but keep stretching, stretching, stretching. Maybe you bow from the waist and keep lengthening. A little bit different tonight. Fly those arms back behind you. Roll the shoulders back. So you're flying through the air. You can hold here or take some motion. Inhale, left knee lifts, arms lift, single leg Tadasana. Exhale, bow from the waist, fly it back. It can be teeny tiny. It doesn't have to be parallel with the floor. If you fall out, that's okay. You got to touch down, that's okay. Inhale, come back up. One more, fly back. Take it slow, stretch through the crown. Inhale, come back up. Woo! And exhale, hands come down through heart center. I'm going to turn it around. Left ankle is going to come over cross of your right knee. Press your ankle into your lower thigh. Opening up, knee, left hip, standing pigeon. You can stay standing pigeon or wobbly pigeon like I am right now. My foot's slipping and sliding. Or find your pigeon chair. Having a seat, finding a little bit more openness in the hips. One more breath wherever you're at, even if you've already toppled out. Inhale, come back up. And release, left foot down. Oh, take some movement. Maybe take some circles through that right ankle. We've been on that right foot for quite a while. Other side, inhale to lengthen. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down, deep bend in your knees, plant your hands, step your feet back, top of your plank. Flow or no flow. You always have your option to say no. We're meeting back together in down dog. Inhale to shift forward, top of your plank. Slow lower all the way to your belly. We're going back to those Superman flies. Arms reach out in front of you. Inhale, lift up torso, arms, maybe the feet. Exhale, fly it back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, let it rest. Right ear to the mat. Shorter break this time. Neck back to neutral. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fly. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower, left ear to the mat. Neck comes back to neutral, hands come underneath your shoulders. Inhale, press up tabletop. Curl your toes, hips up and back, down dog. We're going to that side plank option, that fallen triangle. So if you need to say no or get to it another way, that's okay. Left leg lifts. Bend the left knee, threading the left foot underneath the right leg. You're coming to the outside of the left foot. Transfer the weight to the left palm. Right arm lifts, fallen triangle. Exhale, right palm comes back down, spinning on the right toes. Left leg lifts, three-legged dog. And exhale, left foot comes back down. Deep bend your knees, look between your hands, and make your way to the top of your mat. Exhale, reach down through your crown. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down, belly button to spine. Inhale, reverse, come up. And exhale, hands down through heart center. I'm gonna step back, give myself some room. We're going to that warrior three again. Transferring the weight to the left foot, right foot steps back behind you, arms reach up overhead. Find your length first. That is really what we're going for here. Yes, it is a balance pose and we're working on some core strength here, but depending on how your core is doing, this can be your warrior three and that is okay. When you're ready, arms reach back behind you, maybe the leg lifts. Inhale, come back up, right foot lifts, arms reach up overhead, single leg Tadasana. One more, exhale, fly it back. Warrior three, take it slowly. Inhale, come back up, single leg Tadasana. Hop it around again. And exhale, hands down through heart center and right ankle, goodness gracious, is over your left thigh. Some days you're just tired. Some days are wobbly days. Press your right knee, right hip open. If you'd like to, stay there, standing pigeon or pigeon chair. Have a seat. One more breath. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, right foot down. Maybe take some rolls through the left ankle. You guys did awesome work. You are so strong, whether you said yes to things, no's to things, whether it was wobbly, you fell out, whatever happened. We're gonna take it all the way down. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down, deep bend in your knees. Plant your hands and step your knees back to your tabletop. We're taking another round of cat-cow here, but in your traditional stance. Inhaling to cow. Exhaling to cat. And then coming back to your neutral spine, you're gonna step your right foot up between your hands and then shift your weight back, hips towards your heels. Right toes are gonna lift, half splits. You can hold half splits. You can take some movement, rocking back and forth, runner's lunge to half splits. Or if it's in your practice, go for it, full splits. You might be at a place where you're halfway between. You might put some blocks by your hips. Just be brave to figure out things. But keeping that stretch front and back, front splits. One more breath. Then bending the right knee, right toes come back down. Plant your palms and right knee's gonna come back to your tabletop. Take some movement through the hips if you need to. Left foot's gonna step up between your hands. Shift your weight back, hips towards your heels, left toes lift, half splits other side. Different leg, different side. You can stay here, you can take that movement. You can go to full splits. You can be at a place in between. One more breath wherever you're at. Then bending the left knee, left toes come back down. You're gonna toe heel your left foot out, coming back to your tabletop, and then walk your hands back to your knees, having a seat on your ankles just for a moment. Cross your feet and bring your feet out from underneath you. We're gonna find a seated, wide-legged forward fold. So reaching both of those feet out, toes pointed up towards the ceiling, and then making sure toe, ankle, hip are all in alignment so you're not rolling the toes back or forward. You're keeping the same stance just like we did standing. Palms come out in front of you. Inhale to lengthen, core pulls in. You can stay there if this is enough, or beginning to walk the palms forward or coming down to the forearms. Stopping when you really begin to feel that burn in the inner thighs. With your exhale, letting go, working through anything that's built up, just releasing it. Then inhale, come back up. Left foot's gonna come in, right leg's gonna stay extended. Inhale to lengthen, arms reach up overhead. And then on your exhale, you're gonna find a connection with your right hand, either to the shin, the ankle, the toes. We're taking a side bend, left armpits reaching up towards the ceiling. So it's not heart down, heart is opening up to the side. With your exhale, you're sending the breath down into the QL of the low back. These muscles sometimes get very, very tight. A lot of people hold a lot of emotion there. That might be where you're holding your fear. One more breath. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, hands down through heart center, switching the legs, the right foot in, left foot out. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, left palm finds its grip. Side bending, right armpit up towards the ceiling. Sending the breath into the QL from the right side. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, hands come back down through heart center. You're gonna bring those feet back out in front of you. Deep bend to the knees, hands right by your hips. Lift the core. We're setting up boat. So lifting, 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 then bend your elbows, lean back. You can keep the toes down, you can keep the toes up. We're taking a little bit of movement today though. You can keep the hands down or clasping a fist in front of you. Fist is gonna go to the left and you're gonna lift your left hip. Little side front to the left. Inhale back to center. To the right, lift your right hip. Center, you might be done or do that one more time. Woo! Then hands come right back down by your hips. Toes come down, little stretch for the back. Feet come together, knees open up. Stretch for the hips again. You can reach the heart forward if you'd like to. The knees come together and you're going to lower yourself all the way down to your back. We're setting up for a bridge, but we're taking a marching bridge. Right foot's going to lift straight up, keeping both hips parallel, so you're not lifting the right hip higher than the left. On your inhale, lift your hips, lift your core. Exhale, lower back down, hover or touch. Inhale, lift, press the ceiling away. March it out, lower. One more time. Inhale, lift. And exhale, coming back down. Right foot comes down, left foot lifts. Inhale, lift, march it, press the ceiling away. Exhale, lower or hover. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower, hover. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower, all the way down. Left foot comes to the mat. Knees come over your belly. Rocking side to side, massage out the low back. Then palms come down beside you. Feet are going to reach straight up to the ceiling. We're setting up for plow and shoulder stand. So if you've been playing around with these, don't be fearful if you fall out. Be fearful if you're not trying. But if you're not comfortable, that is perfectly okay saying no. You're going to shift the weight. Hips are going to lift up and back. Hands are coming to the small of the low back. Sorry, I'm trying not to be on my pack here. But making sure the elbows are in, they're not out to the side. Core pulls in and we're lifting the energy straight up. Shoot it out the toes, spread the toes. Lift up, 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 up. Lift, 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 so the hands are barely just holding the weight there. Then the toes are gonna float back behind you. Bend the knees and roll back down, covering your belly back up. Feet towards the ceiling. Beautiful, whether you took that option or not. Then you're gonna bend the knees and cross the right knee over the left. Grabbing down below the knees. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, pull it in. See if that's enough. Check in. We're going for reclining cow face knees or reclining Ganukasana. And so you're sending a stretch into the right hip flexor, the right piriformis. If it's not intense enough or deep enough, walk the hands down to the ankles. Or maybe you reach for the underside of the feet. But stop when you're feeling it in the right glute, the right hip flexor. Then release your grasp. Left foot's gonna come down, right ankle is gonna stay crossed over your knee. Reclining pigeon, press your right knee, right hip open. You can stop there, you can grab behind the hamstring to the front of the shin. Then release, left foot comes down, right foot uncrosses, left knee over your right. Knees come over the belly, reclining cow face, other side. Grabbing below the knees first, testing the waters. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, pull it in. See if that's deep enough. Maybe walking the hands down to the ankles, to the underside of the feet. But we're listening this time for the left piriformis, the left outer hip. And release, right foot down, left ankle stays crossed over your right knee. Exhale, press your left knee, left hip away, reclining pigeon. Or take a little bit deeper, grabbing behind the hamstring on the right leg or the right shin. Then right foot's going to come down, left foot's going to come down. You're going to walk your feet down and a part of the width of the mat. So you're a little bit wider than your hips. On your exhale, both knees go to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, both knees go to the left. We're going to do that same thing, but this time inhale to center and the knees are coming over the hips. Exhale, arms are going to reach out to the side and the knees are going to go to the right. So you're taking a little bit different of a belly twist. You can hook the left foot underneath the right foot if you feel it floating up. You can look to your left shoulder. Inhale, knees come back to center, hovering over the hips. And on your exhale, knees are going to go to the left. You can gaze to the ceiling, to your right arm. Knees are going to come back to center. And then keeping the bend in your knees, you're going to reach your feet up towards the ceiling. We're setting up happy baby, grabbing inside, outside of the shins, the ankles, the feet. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, pull it in. Happy baby. If you want to find a little bit more bravery, ninja baby, with one leg extending and then the other. Then release your grasp. Feet are to come back together and then to come down to the mat. You're setting up for your final Shavasana. If your low back's a little talkative, knees together, feet apart. Hips need more, feet together, knees apart. Or just corpse pose. 2 deep breaths together. Inhale through the nose. Let it go through the mouth. One more in through the nose and out through the mouth. We're going to stay here. I have a poem that I want to read to you guys. This is by John O'Donohue. It's called For Courage. When the light around you lessens and your thoughts darken until your body feels fear turn cold as a stone inside, know that you are not alone and that this darkness has purpose. Gradually, it will school your eyes to find the one gift your life requires, hidden within this night corner. Close your eyes. Gather all the kindling about your heart to create one spark. That is all you need to nourish the flame that will cleanse the dark of its weight of festered fear. A new confidence will come alive to urge you toward higher ground, where your imagination will learn to engage difficulty as its most rewarding threshold. So as you're laying in Shavasana, just noticing how you're feeling. Working through things. So we're not ignoring any emotions that we feel. We're working through. I'm sure you've heard that quote, sometimes the only way out is through. Just staying here with your breath, a few more breaths. Softening from the very top of your head, letting those worry lines go away. Letting the eyes sink a little bit deeper down into the sockets. Softening the jaw. Tongue comes away from the top of your mouth. Feeling the shoulders relax. Feeling the whole torso soften, top of the spine, middle of the spine, low back. The core softens. The hips soften, the glutes soften. The legs get heavy. Quads and hamstrings relax. Kneecaps. Shins and calves, ankles and toes. And then going back up to the arms, elbows, wrists, fingers. Just feeling totally relaxed. You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. But when you're ready, beginning to deepen your inhale and exhale. First, bringing movement to your face. Find a little smile. Find something that you're grateful for. Then sending that happiness, that courage and bravery to your fingers and toes. On your next inhale, arms reach up overhead on the ground above you. Big stretch apart. Hands come back down by your sides. Bend your knees and roll over onto one side or the other. Using your palm to press yourself back up to a seated position. Sealing in our time together. Inhale your arms up overhead. And exhale, hands come down through heart center. Grateful for the strength of your yeses, for the courage of your yeses. And grateful for the strength and courage of your no's. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of your practice tonight. I am so happy to be with you, even if it's just in this way. I hope that you feel a little bit stronger, a little bit more brave. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything at all, I'd love to hear from you. My name is Stephanie. Blessings and namaste.
There's a picture going to be displayed on the screen of two kids who are doing yoga with you. So thank you.
Thank you to the kids that are also joining today.